And welcome back to Daily Justice. Our topic today is fathers' rights who may or may not have a criminal record, a topic on the HodgsonLawOffices.com blog. My guest is Mark Hodgson, family law attorney here in Spokane. This is interesting. If a father has a criminal record, how might that impact their custody rights in Washington?
Well, I mean, the one thing is this is a blog post and it is a marketing website. So the fathers, obviously, that's a keyword to talk about it. And I do think it does affect some fathers in some ways differently. There's always differences in gender. But really, parents with criminal records can be severely affected by this. So it's not really a topic only for men. But under these circumstances, what sorts of offenses will affect your criminal rights? Well, interestingly enough, if you were to reproduce with someone who you knew had murdered someone, right? And they'd rehabilitated, they'd done their time, and then they came out and they had a kid with you and they're doing everything fine, and they get a job and they're not hurting anyone, they go to church, they don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't do anything, but they did a murder. I'm trying to think of the worst thing possible. So they did a murder. You decide to split up. Well, he's a murderer. I don't think that's going to affect it. And so but some people, men or women, might just want to fold rather than argue that point in court. And I would tell you, your kid's worth it. I would tell you to go ahead and do it. Now, there's other offenses that might not affect it at all, like, a DUI from 20 years ago. That can happen to anybody. If you drive a vehicle and you drink alcohol, you can get a DUI. I don't care how much you think you drank. I don't care what it is. The limit's fairly low, and it can happen to anybody. So those things really, one, won't. Now, 4, driving under the influences will hurt your time with your kids. It will kind of show evidence of chemical dependency and all those other things. So that could. One of the ones that I see that really hurts people the most, hands down, no question, domestic violence. Mm-hmm. And domestic violence can be the threat of imminent harm, coercive control, or any of those things. The more recent the domestic violence, the more powerful it will be. But the statute's written, we call it RCW 2609-191. Go ahead, there will be a quiz. But we call them the 191 factors. And domestic violence in RCW 2609-191 does specifically say that you shall limit decision making, you shall limit the parent's time. Doesn't give a lot of guidance, but the limiting of decision making can definitely be interesting, because if you and your wife have a domestic violence incident, then generally the courts don't order joint decisions. So the parent, the victim will get sole decision making over medical, educational, extracurriculars, all those. So it can have a profound impact, but if it's attenuated, such as my murder example, absolutely go for it. You really need to consult with someone if you do have a criminal record at all.
So whether it's a mother or father and they do have a criminal record, what can they do to strengthen their case to get custody?
Well, I mean, yeah, and to start with the first thing, yeah, we represent just as many men as we do women. Some people, I think one of my favorite, bad reviews is Mark Hodgson, baby mama's attorney. I thought that was really funny. But, we represent both genders, and we don't represent one that we like better than the other. But the question that I think you had was, what should someone do with a criminal record to get their custody or their rights? Well, the first thing is do what the court told you to do, and don't be on probation. Maybe do everything the court told you to do and don't end up getting arrested at random for not doing what you should do. Remedy the situation. So if you had a driving under the influence and you do have a chemical dependency problem, then maybe you don't drink anymore. Maybe if you drank for 17 years, maybe you had a good run and that's it. You're done. So remedying the problem that brought you to the court's attention in the first place is really, really great. A lot of times, the funny thing is a lot of times hitting it, and if you continue to drink and say, I just don't have a problem, and you're constantly racking up driving under the influences, you lose a lot of credibility really quick. And just because you haven't been diagnosed with one, you'll know because you know you. So deal with the problem and understand it. Now, theft charges might not affect parenting at all. So a shoplifting charge probably won't affect parenting at all, those types of things.
All right, Mark, thanks very much. For more expert legal insights and to get help with your situation, visit HodgsonLawOffices.com or call the number on your screen to schedule your free consultation today. There's also a direct link below this video.